Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to answer one of the Selenium interview questions. That is, what are the different JUnit annotations which are mostly used while writing the Selenium automation scripts? So here they're asking about mostly used, not all the list. Okay. So mostly used JUnit annotations during Selenium automation. So here are the mostly used JUnit annotations that we generally use during Selenium automation. The first one is @test annotation, which is the main annotation you can say out of all. If you want to convert any normal method into JUnit test method, this annotation is required. Okay, in this method, which is annotated with @test, you write the Selenium automation code for performing the test. Okay, whatever the test that you need to perform, verify login functionality, whatever that code you have to write here, Selenium code you have to write inside the method, which is annotated with @test, and the method will get converted into one of the test case or test. Then @before annotation, next one is okay. So if you have some setup code like launching the browser, okay, maximizing it, opening the application URL, let's say such kind of setup code, okay, that also you have to write inside a method, and that method, if you want to run before this JUnit test method, then @before, okay. And test-ng also we have similar kind of annotations, guys. Okay, instead of before we have @before method in test-ng, but in JUnit we have @before. That's the difference. So setup code will go into the methods which are annotated with @before. Like a setup code example is launching the browser, maximizing, opening the application URL, deleting the cookies, etc., etc. Then this one more thing about @before annotated methods is that they run before every test method. For example, in a class, there are 5 test methods. Before every, before each and every 5 test methods, this @before setup code will run. For every test method, this setup code is going to first run, then test method. Setup code, then test method, like that. Okay. Coming to the @after. Okay. So opposite of @before, that is closure code. Okay. So what can be the closure code in Selenium automation? Like closing the browser. Okay. If you want to close the browser after the test is done, okay, then @after. And as I mentioned, so if you specify this @after before a method, okay, that closure code will run after each and every test method. If you have 5 test methods, after each and every one of those, okay, each and every test method, this @after closure code will run. Okay, 5 times. For example, @test, @after, @test, @after, like that. Okay. So for every test method, this method will run. Okay. Now @before class. Unlike before and after, which run for each and every test method, before class and after class are not going to perform like that. Okay. They are going to run only once. Before class is also meant for setup code, but for all the test methods, only one time it will run. Here, before will run every time for every test method. Okay, but before class, only one time. For all the test methods inside that class, before none of the test methods inside the class get executed, only one time @before class setup code will run. Once all the test methods inside the class, finishes, execution finishes, then at the end, @after class annotated method will run that contains the closure code as usual. Okay. Now coming to the @ignore, this will ignore the test from execution. Okay. If you want to skip a test from execution, if you don't want to run a test, then just add @ignore above the test method, and that is not going to run. Remaining all test methods are going to run. Okay. If you have 100 tests and in that only one test you don't want to run, in that case, you just provide this annotation on that specific test method, and except that test method, remaining all test methods will run. And finally, the last one is @run with annotation from JUnit. Okay, this is for a different purpose and mainly required when you are running the different files, class files as a batch. Okay, for example, login tests are inside some login class. Okay, let's say register related tests are inside the register class. Search functionality related tests are inside the search class. Multiple classes are there, and you want to run all these classes together. Let's say, okay, in that case, you can use @run with to create some kind of runner class, which is going to run all the, okay, all the classes. So mainly @run with we generally use in Cucumber projects. Okay, Cucumber. If you are using Cucumber with JUnit, with Selenium and all, okay. So in that case, we generally use @run with, guys, to, because in Cucumber projects only we need this @run with annotation. So and under the @run with Cucumber options, one more annotation from Cucumber JUnit will use, and that contains all the options where the feature files are there and all. That's a very big topic, guys. Okay, don't want to go deep, but this is for batch execution of the script, simple words. Okay. So hope, guys, you got the idea about the majorly used or mostly used JUnit annotations during Selenium automation. Okay, these are the list. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye bye.